All right, we are live.
Live to
We're waiting
thrive.
for people to jump in.
Yeah, can you see if there's anybody in here?
Yeah, not yet. All right, there we go. We got people coming in. Oh, what did I do?
Fucked it all up.
What does that sound? Can you hear that?
No,
It's getting all choppy.
no,
We
I
don't like
can't
a
hear that.
choppy broadcast. All right, we're gonna give people a little bit longer to get on in here, and then we're gonna start. If I go live on do a live within a live
Oh,
liveception.
wow. Christopher Nolan would be proud.
Christopher Nolan live, Instagram live.
That's what we love to see.
Hi, everybody. We're going to start here in just a few seconds. We're waiting for everybody to get in. Then it's game time.
Bow, bow.
How's your day going?
Car is still dead, but my voice is back. So, 50-50.
Is it a better week at least?
I don't know. I honestly, it took me till like 11 to realize that it was actually Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday.
Days don't really count when it's holiday season.
You would think so, but Mark
All right.
thinks that you and I are going to be separating too.
No, we've been doing this for 17 years. I guess 27 years we'll reevaluate our relationship
Yeah.
and see where we stand. If we're still doing this in 27 years, then we either did something really well or really wrong. I don't know. I don't know if we look back.
Tough to say. Probably a bit of both.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live, Brav Bros Live. It's been a wild week. I didn't see any of this coming. I mean, I know it's been happening for like a little while now, but again, I feel like this is one of the rock relationships of one of the shows that has now come into question. And it was similar with Tom and Ariana. This is not a Sandoval live. We're not going down that road. But once
Are we
again,
not?
what?
Aren't we going to be comparing tattoos and all that bullshit again?
Yeah,
I feel like
guess.
this is just the same thing.
It is. Yeah, okay, fine. I mean, it's shockingly similar. I'll give you that. Like it is, and that's what raises some questions. And I think we can stop with the hat. I'm not going to stop doing anything. I'll do whatever I want with the hat, Adam. No, you're right. I'll stop messing with my hat. But with this whole thing, a lot of questions have been raised. People are wondering, is this a publicity stunt? Is this simply for ratings? Are they trying to compete with Vanderpump now?
I don't know. I mean, I think with a story like this, everybody's so quick with all the things that happened in Sandoval and all the other bullshit that now we've kind of created a precedent where you see a couple divorcing and then there might be like a hint of a rumor of an affair or something, and everybody's going to go crazy. Now, a couple of months ago, maybe this time last year, they wouldn't have gone as crazy about it, but just the similarities. Like now we're comparing the same tattoos because Kyle has the same tattoo as Morgan Wade, and maybe that means that they're together. And it's like it's all just so dumb. I think that there's pieces of truth within here. I think that both Mo and Kyle, if we take them for their word, they came out and said it was a really tough year. They're not getting divorced, but they did dance around the separation question, which is fine. Like if you want to get separated because you're having a tough time, you're not getting divorced. I think that says a lot. But I think in like the world that we live in now with the fans that are as rabid as they're going to be, and they're going to be going after everything, it's almost like we're pushing them to get divorced. Like, why don't we just let them kind of run this one out and just see what happens?
Yeah, I feel like in a normal scenario, that would be what would happen. But again, this is Bravo, so we're not going to take that path. We can't allow these people to simply deal with their marital problems together. That's not how this works. We need to get involved and throw different shit at them to possibly derail it further, because that's how Bravo goes. But
right,
I think you're right. I think that there's going to be a ton of speculation coming out, and we're going to get into the rumors and stuff who said what, where it came out here in a second. But I wanted to go through like our opening thoughts, like where you stand with it, how you feel about it. Like, obviously, there's been some Mauricio cheating rumors throughout the airing of the show. Now, there's never been like hard evidence against it. They seem to have a solid marriage for the most part. And I think that's probably why some things that could be innocuous, it could be benign. I think people are looking into very little things to try to find evidence because they were so solid for so long or seemingly so solid. I think the first thing that threw people off was like a post in which Kyle didn't have her wedding ring on. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, what's going on here? Like, Kyle didn't have a wedding ring on. She came out and said it's because she was working out. So she didn't wear it, which is very plausible. Like, that's not the craziest thing in the world. She said she hasn't been wearing her gigantic, like, big rock engagement ring for a long time anyway. So I feel like, well, there may be truths here. I think you said it really well. There's going to be some truths within this. It's going to be hard to dictate which is true, which is a rumor, who's trying to use this for some clout, which it's going to happen, right? So I think that more stuff's going to come out, but I do also think that we need to be careful with how far we dig into this because this is not a same situation as Sandoval. And I think that people are so jacked up about Sandoval that now they're like, "Ooh, another one," and they're trying to find fire where there's no smoke. In some
Yeah.
cases,
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. And unfortunately, like the way that I feel about it, and I see that somebody just asked, looks like Tara just asked if they knew that the People article was coming out. I think they did. I think that anytime that there's any sort of press coming out, a lot of the times there's a writer, say for People, for Page Six or whoever, has a past relationship with either a housewife or house husband because that's how they get their information. Like we
yep.
know that. We know that things leak directly from the housewives, directly from their significant others, family members, whatever. So I think it could be a courtesy. Maybe that People writer reached out to Kyle, reached out to Mo, one of their people, and said, "Hey, just so you know, we're going to run this article in a couple of weeks. If you want to address it now, you want to try to get ahead of it, you can. But this is happening. So this is what's going on." And I think that we don't know why they've both referenced it being like a tough year. And even Mo was on Two T's in a Pod a couple of weeks ago addressing the Dorit cheating rumors. And again, I mean, we have the issue where we kind of like we both like Mo, and I think he's a
Yeah.
look. I think he's a pretty genuine guy. I mean, I don't really see him lying. I see him getting super stoned on the show because he doesn't feel like dealing with it.
I don't see him
And
getting super stoned. He's just constantly in a state where he seems like he's always stoned, which is
yeah,
fine. It just if you are able to run the agency and the Umansky group while high as well, and you can do all your shit and be stoned, by all means, sir, carry on.
yeah, no, it's tough though because when we sit in these positions and we start to analyze whether it's just for the storyline because Beverly Hills is coming up with no Rinna. We don't really know what the show's going to do. Kathy's not there anymore. What is Kyle going to do? Kyle was always the one that kind of just flocked over to Rinna's side, flocked over to Erica's side, never really defended anybody else. And now we see her, she's kind of on an island by herself. So it is plausible to think that they could be drumming up a little bit of interest before the show comes out to try to create a storyline. I think I don't know if they're still filming, but maybe they are, and this is going to be like the big break during the filming or whatever. But I don't really know because when Mo talks on podcasts and he's been on a couple, he says that he's annoyed by those things. He's like, yeah, like Kyle signed up for this, so we just have to kind of go along with it. You have to have thick skin, blah blah blah. So I don't see them fabricating this type of storyline for the show. I think there is a lot of validity to it. I think they're going to end up getting separated. If you had to ask me, gun
They
to
are
my head,
separated.
yeah, but I think they're going to remain separated, and I think that they probably do get divorced somewhere down the line because they won't be able to figure it out. Maybe that's because of the show, but I don't think that there's.
Bold claim.
I think the other things are all bullshit. Honestly, I think that maybe Kyle has a friendship with Morgan Wade, and they're good friends, but you don't see Morgan Wade coming out and saying like, "Yeah, Kyle's just one of my best friends." She's just kind of like staying out of it. So it's tough to say because we don't have all the pieces, but people are coming to this acting like they know everything. And look at all these lines that I've made. Look at all this and that. And it's all smokescreen because at the end of the day, the only thing we know is they made a post. There was a report that they're going to be separated. They made a post the next day saying they had a really tough year. So if we stick with the facts, that's all we know.
Yeah, and I think You're completely right, and that's what we're gonna see. People are gonna try to connect dots where there's no dots to connect, and I
Yeah.
think that's gonna make this muddy, and we're not gonna be able to see what's actually going on. To the Rinna part, because Christine asked as well, do you think that is why Kyle never pushed Rinna because Rinna knew? In regards to Rinna, now a lot of people are talking about the fact that because Rinna's no longer on the show, this wasn't run by Page Six. And normally leaks that happen on this show happen through Page Six. And a lot of people have speculated over the years that Rinna was the leak. Here we go. We got our first big break of the season. And the other thing is, People Magazine does not tend to run stories if they're not corroborated.
Yeah.
That much I do know. And a lot of people have talked about that. They're not Page Six. They're not going to throw smut out there on the front cover just for, I mean, they'll obviously throw some clickbait out there, but they tend to actually have factual information before they just make an article about it. So that is something, there's more merit to this one because of that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and Zach Peter did a live yesterday, and somebody posited this, and I think this makes a lot of sense. And that was the fact that Morgan Wade might actually be Kyle's sponsor, because Kyle's
Right.
has been sober and trying to stay sober. And if she's in the program and that is her sponsor, then all of these activities together make a whole lot of sense. The close bond they seem to have together. Now, if you want to connect dots where there might not be dots to connect, again, it's a dangerous game, especially when you're speculating about somebody's sexuality, because it's a much bolder claim to say, like, oh, yeah, Kyle's a lesbian or Kyle's bisexual, when we don't really know the ins and outs. And we're not going to sit here and try to say that we can dictate or pinpoint somebody's sexuality based on a few posts on Instagram because, oh, now the detectives are out and, oh, clearly Kyle's a lesbian because she has a matching tattoo with a friend. Like that's not the same thing. Excuse me. But I think that with the sobriety thing, with the sponsor thing, that would make more sense to me, that they're together as much as they are, they're as close as they are, because you're sharing your deepest, darkest secrets all the time. So I'm kind of leaning towards that one. How do you feel about that one?
I like that one. I think that makes a little bit more sense. And it also shows why Morgan Wade isn't really saying anything, because if it is a sponsorship type of thing, then chances are you're going to keep that kind of close to your chest. You're not going to spill the beans on something like that. So that actually makes a lot of sense. I don't really know. I mean, part of me is going to be pissed off because they
Hold on.
did.
Adam, settle down, dude. I am 5 years sober and I'm not outing anybody's sponsor. I'm saying that this is a reasonable thing to say, like, oh, maybe this is their sponsor, because Kyle has been outwardly speaking about sobriety. Don't sit here on your soapbox, Adam, and tell me how to talk about sobriety. All right. I live this every day. Appreciate it. Not outing your sponsor. I'm saying this might be a reasonable approach here, but by all means, dude, like, carry on. Anyway, shooter.
Yeah. Anyway. No, I mean, I'm going to be pretty pissed off because it looks like they stopped production a couple of weeks ago and now this is all starting to come out. So that means we're going to have to watch. I don't think that this is big enough for Bravo to turn around and say, let's pick up the cameras and let's get after it. I think
Bravo picked up the cameras. They extended filming by 2 weeks. Yeah, so they're coming back. That's why. So now,
are we going to do this with every show now?
What's up?
Are we gonna get? Are we?
Well,
are
that's
we
my
this with
point.
every
So
show?
here's where the other shit starts coming into play. That's when people are saying, "Did Bravo leak the story?" Because, like you said, okay, like you said, they're worried about ratings. All right. They also know that Kyle is not one to talk about her shit. She's not diving into what's going on between her and Mo, right?
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Is
issue.
I guess they will force the issue to an extent. I think there's better ways to do it, though. I think that if Bravo knew what was going on, then they could use their back channels and have somebody like Erica bring it up or Sutton bring it up. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that in the past. There's no way.
We saw it in the past. It's a new playbook, dude. Sandoval changed everything.
I know.
We're in a new era of Bravo,
But I think that's going to piss us off where, like, yes, we're going to end up doing this. And that was great. But like, remember the first or that middle,
that was
like
great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Eh.
Do you remember the first or the like those middle 5 to 6 episodes of Vanderpump when we knew what was going on with Sandoval? And
Yeah.
yeah, that
Oh,
first
yeah.
episode was awesome and we're like, "Wow, we're looking for all these clues and details." And then we had 5 or 6 straight episodes of nothing. And it
And
was just
feeling
like, "All right,
gross
get to
too.
it. Enough. Get to it. We just want to see it at this point." Are we going to do that with every show when we find out details a couple of weeks after production wraps? I think Bravo needs to do a better job of figuring out what the hell's going on in the moment. Obviously, Scandival is a little different because that was a bombshell that blew up. But you're telling me that there's no way that people just wrote this article within the last 2 weeks. They've known for a while. They've been corroborating with other people in the story. They've been getting information. They've been writing this down. Like they've known for weeks. That means Bravo should know for weeks. That means you have to push the issue during the show. That's the whole point of having these shows. If we're going to turn around and pick up the cameras 2 weeks after every single time a season wraps up, we're going to be annoyed because it's going to take away from the actual season. We're going to be in the middle of some sort of Sutton, Erica Jane healing journey that would have been really good to watch. And we're not going to give a shit about it because we want to just get to the Mo and Kyle stuff. They're kind of
Okay.
ruining the show, honestly, by doing stuff like this and not just
Wow.
letting it go.
Wow. So you think that this is arguably the juiciest drama that Kyle's had, other than, the sister drama and the family drama that she's had. Like, if this is all real, this is her biggest thing. Again, that also, there's so many things that make it almost, and I'm saying this like lightly, I don't mean it how it's going to sound, but it's almost too good to be true. And not
Mhm.
like I'm rooting for negative stuff to happen, but there's a lot, like, the more that comes out that seems to be neat and tidy, the more skeptical I get. The fact that it seems to be so cut and dry, I'm like, this doesn't make fucking sense now. In the beginning, it made sense a little bit. If there's kind of scattered clues, people are speculating, there's a lot of rumors. Okay, we can sit here and play the game. We can go through things and try to figure out kind of what's up. All right, fine, I'll play that game. The more evidence that's coming out from actual sources, like reputable sources, and by reputable, I mean not reputable at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I got you.
talk.
Yeah. Did you just
By
have a
the way,
stroke? What
dude,
happened to Adam?
I might have, only because I got stung by a hornet over the weekend. Look at my fucking hand.
Holy shit.
Look at that.
Did you get stung in the hand?
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
It
wow.
stung me in the hand. And not only that, today I was like, I got my heart rate up. I was like, I'll work out, I'll sweat it out, I'll feel fine. As soon as my heart rate got elevated,
I think that's how that
my
works.
head started to hurt. What's up?
I don't think that's how that works. I don't think you're
That's
supposed to
just
do that.
my go-to with pretty much every ailment is like, I'll just go work out. And like, if I
That's like
sweat
that's like me
enough,
when
I'll
I'm
be
hungover
okay.
and that's like me when I'm hungover and I'm like, yeah, if I just do like a quick 15-20 minute workout, sweat out all the booze, I'll feel much better. And I do. But I don't think that works with venom. It's like I got
No,
bit by a
hornet
rattlesnake the
venom.
other day. Let me go do some kettlebells and
No,
I'll feel
that
better.
it's a kettlebell, first of all, you
Whatever.
dumbass.
It's a ball though. Anyway, go on.
It's a kettlebell. Okay, it's a bell. Trust me. All right. And also, the funny thing is, I know this already because of, hunting and living in Texas, because of rattlesnakes. You're not supposed to elevate your heart rate when you have venom in your system because it will pump your blood faster and kill you. So,
Yeah.
counterproductive. Learned my lesson. Got a really bad headache.
Attaboy.
Didn't feel great. Came home. Took a Benadryl. I've had 2 Benadryl today, so I also feel like I'm cross-eyed and I can't like think straight. But it was the perfect time to do a live, obviously. But let's get back to what the people want to talk about.
What happened to Adam? Did you kick Adam out?
I think Adam left because
Nah,
I
man.
didn't care for his banter. I don't know. Maybe he'll come back and call me an asshole or something. Time will tell. One can only hope,
Oh
It's the
God.
kind of feedback that I like, just negative comments and insults. But Andre asks, if Kyle did cheat with this lady, the other woman going to go after her like they did Denise? That's a really, really good point. Hold on, Rebecca. I do know about snakes. I said I know you're not supposed to get your heart rate up because of the venom. I do know about snakes, and I did live in Australia, and clearly you're a listener, and we love you, Rebecca. But back
I
to
mean,
Andre.
I think Erica will, but the people aren't like Rena, she's not there anymore. Even in the past, I don't know, because that's a weird thing with Kyle. I think that I think that Erica doesn't really care about friendships necessarily on the show. If she sees an opportunity to go after somebody, she probably will. So I could see Erica doing it, but I
I
can't
can
see
see
anybody
Erica.
else on the show really doing it. Like Garcelle might have like a reasonable conversation with her to try to figure it all out. Sutton's gonna have some weird Texas quote that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and we're just gonna go from there. And Crystal's probably gonna hate it, but she won't bring it up in person. Like in behind closed doors to her family, she'll talk
But
about it in the
Denise is on the
confessionals.
show this season.
Denise will probably go after her.
But
Yes.
here's my thing. I think that, and maybe to what Andre is alluding to, is like, because of how they treated Denise when all of her shit came out and how Rinna was with Denise. And again, Rinna's not here anymore, so it's not as important.
Yeah.
But she got dragged and basically left the show. This was one of the big reasons, because all this shit came out with her and Brandy or whatever. And like, I don't want to say that Kyle deserves some heat, because she doesn't. She's living her life. Her and Mauricio clearly have had conversations about whatever's happening. She doesn't owe anybody an explanation. And it's also different because if, I don't know, I guess it's about
No,
timelines now.
see,
It's about
yeah.
timelines, right? We need
No,
flowcharts again.
I'm not even thinking about the timeline aspect of it. I'm thinking more about what we've gotten from Kyle in the last 5 years. Nothing. So now that there's something coming out, yes, she does owe it to us to show this on camera. If you're
Kyle
going through
does,
something,
sure.
yes, for sure. Like if you're going to go through something like this and you signed up for a TV show, you can't hold on to it until a couple of weeks after production and just hope that it goes away. Like you do owe us something. And, like I said, I don't think the answer is picking up the cameras, because I don't want to create that precedent. We're 2 months removed from Sandoval, and that's what they did there. So now what? Somebody's going to stub their toe on Atlanta like 3 or 4 weeks after production. They're like, let's go see what's going on with Marlo and her stub toe. It's like, no.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess
where's
it does
where's the
set up.
bar at that point? And it's not like we're getting this huge. Sandoval was huge because we got revenge. We got to watch him squirm. I mean, look, a lot of people will like to see Kyle and Mo go through it for various reasons. I think that they can go through it in a mature way. And if they can kind of articulate their emotions through the whole thing, I think it could be important, not only just from an entertaining standpoint, but also for people who are also going through something similar. Maybe it can help speak to them. Maybe you doing it on camera, you can be an advocate for, hey, we've been married for 27 years and it's not really working. We had a really tough year. We're trying to reevaluate things and now we're going to be separated. Like, I think a lot of people would enjoy that from a kind of like a perspective point of view, just understanding.
There's
So
some potential teachable
I
moments.
think that when you sign up for one of these shows, you do owe it to the audience. You do owe it to the show and your castmates to bring something to the table. And I don't want to jump the gun, because obviously we haven't watched any of the season yet. We can speculate that we're probably not getting a lot from Kyle this year, because what would we get? I mean, she's probably just going to be kind of palling around and being friends and like an add-on, but not really driving any sort of storyline. If she does drive some sort of storyline and we get enough from her, yeah, we can leave it alone and just see what happens. If she does absolutely nothing all year, then yeah, we're going to need something from her.
But that just makes me think more so like, okay, maybe she had a bad year, and then like towards the end of the season, she's like, all right, well, let me start some shit. And I don't want to play that game. Like, I feel bad. I don't. And this is also due to the fact that like I haven't watched Beverly Hills in a while, and the fact that I've always liked Kyle up until last season is like creeping back in my head. I got to remember that she had a bad year last year, but it's a touchy topic, I guess. And if it is, so here's my thing: if she had an affair, okay, if she stepped out with Morgan Wade or whomever, that's a different story. That makes this change a lot, right? Now, if her and Mauricio had a conversation, if this came out that they're separated now, I would imagine that this separation has been going on for longer.
Yeah.
Right? Like the public announcement's not going to be the same day as them getting separated. They're going to do it first, see how it's going, make sure that they like check all the boxes, because they're both very big public figures, housewives aside. Kyle Richards is related to the Hiltons. Kyle Richards is in movies. Mauricio is the head of the agency, and they do $40 billion in business and real estate across the world every year. These are very big public figures separate from Bravo, right? So these two are going to make sure that all their ducks are in a row before they go public with it. Now, because of that it's too neat and tidy for me. The stuff coming out is too clean, and I think that we need to see, as viewers, we need to see them go after Kyle this year, because they did the same shit to Denise if it was cheating. And the only reason that I'm like going back to that is just because Kyle did an Instagram live with Kathy, and Morgan was there too. And Kathy goes, well, we do have, what did she say? I wrote it down. Hold on. Kathy said we have a little secret and nodded over to Morgan and Kyle. And then Kyle like immediately changed the subject. And I guess both of their faces were kind of like, ooh, like, no, don't say that. And then Kyle changed the subject real quick. So that, and then they both have heart tattoos, which again doesn't mean that they're having sex, but they were wearing matching rings. And then somebody else said that they saw Morgan got a new contact. Why a new tattoo?
New tattoo
Where did
with
contact
K.
come from?
I don't know, because it's K for contact.
Benadryl, dude. Don't take Benadryl. It ruins your brain, apparently.
Yeah,
But yeah,
somebody recommended putting a little tobacco. Put a little tobacco on a bandage.
I was looking for my dip, and it's in the other room, and I'm upset.
Is that like when hockey players slit a little thing in their toes and like stuff some pouches down there?
I doubt that a lot of our audience knows that hockey players do that.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know. Does anybody in here, out of all of you that are watching me and this moron, did you guys know that hockey players will make little cuts in between their toes and put chewing tobacco in there and then put their socks on because they can't put dip in their mouth during the game? Anybody?
Probably
Sound
not.
off in the comments if you knew that.
But yeah, I mean, I do. It's just tough for me to see. I don't know. I just don't want to jump right into the cheating thing. I think that's
I don't either.
kind
I
of
think
been
it's a
that's kind
dangerous
of
game
the
to play.
MO. It's the MO of where these Bravo shows are going. Immediately, it's somebody's cheating on somebody, and like I don't really want to do it until there's actually some evidence. A tattoo, a matching tattoo, and then spending a lot of time together isn't evidence. It can be anything.
No, it's really not. And I think, again, I think that because of the timing of this, that's what makes it kind of sketchy, that I'm not buying into it fully. The timing of it, all right, immediately after the biggest news drop in the history of Bravo comes out, arguably the biggest season in the history of Bravo with Vanderpump. After that comes out, now this gets all shaky towards the end, right? We haven't, like, they're
maybe
filming.
this season sucks. Maybe we were right.
That's
maybe
what I'm
they
saying.
need somebody like Rinna. Maybe I don't know, because Denise is back, but who knows? Maybe she couldn't find her footing. Maybe this season's awful, and Bravo realized that they needed to do something. And Kyle said, "Hey, I'm the most tenured person on this show at this point. I could step up and do something. Here, I've got something going on with Mauricio. We'll announce that we're
she
separated."
wouldn't do that. There's no fucking way
We don't know.
She would give that in, but she doesn't talk about
But
her
what
shit.
if they
Why
gave
would
her an
she offer that?
ultimatum? Maybe they gave her an ultimatum. Maybe they were going to kick her out too because she wasn't bringing anything to the show. She wants to stay.
You can't.
Yes, you can kick her out.
You cannot kick Rinna and Kyle off.
Sure, they can. What says who?
It says me, bitch.
All right. Well, at least Rinna brought something to the show. Kyle doesn't bring shit to the show.
No,
I know you love Kyle, or you loved Kyle.
Loved. Hey, your dog's there?
Yeah.
Aw, cute.
What's your deal?
Are you gonna show the people your dog?
He's barking at shadows right now. Hold on.
You know I have a problem. You know I have a problem with Bravo dogs. All right, don't let your dog be a Bravo dog.
Oh, he's barking at. Anyway.
All right. Well, let's go to you guys. I'm sure there's a lot of questions out here. I'm gonna go grab a water. Shooter's gonna ask you guys for some questions. I'm gonna get back and answer those questions with him. Andy loves Kyle. She isn't going anywhere anytime soon unless she wants. I agree, Russ. I don't think it's that cut and dry. I think Shooter's stupid.
There you go. Anyway, yes. So we're going to ask you to give us some questions. I don't think I can highlight any of your questions, which is a problem, but we're going to try to do what we can do here best.
Fuck, I just stubbed my toe.
You want to pick up the cameras? We got to come back.
Ow. I can't. I'm having bad luck. Hornet, stub my toe. Oh, there's the pup. Steel's gone. Let's talk about it. I'm back, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm too fast. Steel's in the wars. Damn right, Rebecca. Damn right. I'm getting smoked over here. Steel's falling apart. Okay, we got it. Leave me alone. Ask a fucking question.
It's funny because I had a really rough week last week, and now you're falling
My week's
apart
not
as
bad as yours was last week.
Yeah.
It's not.
We're getting better.
My car's not flooded. Is your car better yet?
Car's flooded, or car's not flooded anymore. So fix that.
We got to win. All right, from Tara Lundquist. What's the pup's name?
This is my parents' dog. His name is Shane. which is a stupid name for a dog. I
I
told
love
them that.
people names for dogs.
I know, I know. I wanted to call him something different, but they opted for Shane for some reason. So here he is.
Andre
You're
says,
in a
I mean,
weird show.
Kyle's the last OG standing with Teresa. There's no way Andy would let her go over her not showing her marital issues. Robin got cheated on, and she didn't talk about that, and she's there. That's a valid
That's a
point,
good point.
but Robin doesn't bring the same firepower, the same star power as Kyle Richards. She just doesn't. I think that you can't. Potomac, I love Potomac. It's my favorite show. But I think comparing Potomac to Beverly Hills is different just because Beverly Hills is like one floundering. You know, I don't
Yes.
think that they've been doing very well. So like they need to figure out what they're doing. They also have a lot, they've been around longer. So, you know, Kyle Richards is a mainstay. Not that, and again, Potomac's my favorite. I will stand by Potomac till the end. I just think it's a different, I don't know, it's different, tough to compare the two just because I feel like Beverly Hills is on its last legs.
Yeah.
So I think it's more plausible for them to shake it up by getting rid of Kyle on Beverly Hills more so than it would be just to get rid of Robin on Potomac. I don't think you need to get rid of Robin. Whereas on a show like Beverly Hills is kind of struggling now, a big shakeup would make more sense.
You just told me like no less than 3 minutes ago that there's no way in hell that they ever get rid of Kyle.
I don't think they will. I'm saying it's more plausible than getting rid of Robin, in my opinion.
Oh my God.
Wasn't there a rumor about Morgan's ex Instagram story? Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
was Morgan's ex's Instagram story was there was something weird about the Morgan's ex being at Morgan's concert, and in the video Morgan's ex said like get that girl away from this concert or something, and people are speculating that it was Kyle. And you can correct me if I was wrong, Rebecca, but I think that's what I saw anyway.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Interesting. What else we got here? Emma Charles, do you think the news purposely came out after filming Rat? Yeah, 100%, without a
Yeah.
doubt. That was definitely planned. By who is the question? Was it Bravo? Was it the
Kyle.
cast? Was it collective?
That's got to
Do
be
you think it
Kyle.
was just Kyle?
Yeah.
Do you think Mo was involved?
Probably. I mean, like I said, like we've seen things happen with Mo, and we've seen him talk about his experience on the show, and he doesn't want to show things on the show. He doesn't want to be part of it. He's just begrudgingly there. So the idea that they would have to show their separation on the show, I don't think he would really want to do that.
They're going to.
Well, yeah.
So if he didn't know about it, like he's in it now. But I think that's actually a good point. That'll be telling how much we see him in like the extra 2 weeks of filming. If he's not around for it, I don't think he's involved in it as much. If we see more Mo, then it's kind of like, oh, well, maybe there was a little, you know, shadow government going on behind the scenes.
Well, Bravo shadow government. Everybody likes a conspiracy
There's
theory.
always a shadow government on these shows. What's next? Is Teddy saying anything 2T's in the pod? And if not, do you think she will? I haven't heard anything come out of 2T's yet. I saw somebody, Bethany, I think, was giving props to Kyle and Mo, saying how great they were. And if this is just a separation, if nothing shady went on, if there was no cheating, if there was no anything, if this is just two people that have been married for 27 years that came to an adult decision amongst each other to be like, hey, been a rough year. And Mo went on a podcast. He was on Zach's podcast, and they were talking about him being on the show, and even said, you know, it's been a tough year for us, but like we both love each other very much. We've been married for 27 years. There's ups and there's downs. This is a rough go, but we'll see our way through it. Like we support each other all the way. And if this is an adult decision between a married couple and they said, hey, we need to take a step back and look at this and figure out how to be better. We're not firing on all cylinders right now, and we need to figure it out. That's a very different story. And that's not even a story.
No,
That's
we
just
don't need the
we need to
cameras
stay the
picked
fuck
up.
out of.
But
Right.
if we get through this whole season, then the season is missing a lot of pieces and we're bored. And then we get to the point where we're like, all right, maybe it'll pick up because they're picking up the cameras now. So we get to see what's going on with Mo and Kyle. And it's just that, which by the way, I like Mo and Kyle as people. I know that
Yeah, I
it's
do
hard to
too.
view people as people when they're on these shows, but I like them as people and I root for them. So I hope that it is just as simple as it can be as a separation where it's like, okay, you know, we're good. We're got to figure our things out and we got to separate. If it's just that and they picked up their goddamn cameras to go do this, and we suffer through an entire season of Beverly Hills once again, back to back, just to wait around for that, and it's just that, we might have to write off Beverly Hills altogether, because that's going to be tough to come back from.
We're not allowed
Sure,
to. We can't. We have to watch it. We have to watch it. So don't put false hopes. Like we're gonna. Hopefully it's better. I used to like Beverly Hills until last year, honestly. So hopefully it can come back. I'm nervous now because of you. Like it would make a lot of sense. Maybe production's like, woof, this whole season blows. What's going on with you guys behind the scenes? Oh, not great. Okay, cool. Let's push this narrative. Let somebody call People Magazine. Let's get the story out there.
Yeah.
And to get back to your question, is Teddy saying anything? And if not, do you think she will? Yeah. Teddy will say stuff. Tamara's going to say stuff. They're both going to start talking about this nonstop because that's what they do. They're going to make up their own things that they've seen stuff and they've heard stuff. And they heard this one friend of a friend who was dating their other friend's cousin who used to work out at a gym with them that they saw them make out. So, yeah, you can guarantee that 2Ts will say some stupid shit about it because they always do. And that's standard with that podcast, but whatever.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's at least 2 or 3 podcasts that you can say are going to come out with some very toxic reports that they make shit up for.
Yeah, and 2Ts is definitely one of them.
We are not one of them.
Oh, I like this. Shoot and steal for you each. Who would be your dream guest?
Dream guest on Bravo.
Across the board.
I mean, I think the most fun that we would probably have with a guest would be Kyle.
Kyle
I think
from Summer House.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not Kyle Richards. Whoops. Yeah, Kyle Cook. I think that he would fit in really well with just like we would vibe for like hours. We already challenged him to a cornhole tournament, so there's that.
We did. But he said the stakes are $1 million to a charity of our choice. I told him he's on, so we need to win.
Yeah,
I don't have $1 million to give to charity.
We've definitely got that kind of money.
We've got that lover boy money stashed. Don't you worry, guys.
No, I think a fun person, if we're gonna just stick with housewives, because I think that would be a good one. I don't know. I think Denise would be a riot just because we wouldn't be able to like. You know what? Would be crazy. Yeah.
Denise is up there for me. Who else? Honestly, mine are people that I don't potentially like, or that I don't particularly like that much. Like I would love potentially Benadryl, 2 Benadryl today. Okay, again, look at my guy. Look at this. I look like a balloon animal.
Like, it looks like the swelling went down in the last 10 minutes.
It did go down. You should have seen it this morning. Like it was going down to like my wrist. Like I almost was like, maybe I should go.
And you thought, let me go work out real quick.
Let me get a little sweat this venom out. I'll be right as rain in the morning.
That's like Lance Armstrong waking up in the morning and his testicles are huge and he decides to ride his bike for 10 miles.
Yeah, you're right.
Same thing.
Wait, that's a true story.
I know it's a true story.
That is a true story. I thought you were making never mind. Let's move on. I was like, we're about to get canceled. That's not a bad point, Mark. You are right. They are friends. But I think that in my opinion, I feel like Teddy wants to be back in the limelight so much. I think she would still say some shit, but you're not wrong. What else do we got here? New season airs November 11th, I think, somewhere around there, 7th to 11th, somewhere within that time frame.
Yeah.
What else? Get a couple more in here. We're almost done. We got like 5-10 more minutes, maybe. Is Bethany? Bethany is talking, but she's actually supportive of them. She said
that their marriage is admirable, I was surprised. I mean, Christine's right. Bethany does have an opinion on any piece of information that comes out. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like she's not, you would kind of expect her to be 100% like leaning one way or another. Either she's just like all about the gossip and the toxicity or completely on the other end. And she seems to have like an actual opinion on everything. So I don't mind her talking.
I don't either. She's going to anyway. So my favorite part of living in Australia No, my favorite. I did get to Sydney. I did the Sydney Bridge climb, which was cool. Scary as shit, but it was cool. And then my favorite part was Rottnest Island, which is a little island off the coast of Perth. And I got bit by a quokka on Rottnest Island. Yeah, I stayed there
Wait,
for
aren't
2 nights.
quokkas supposed to be like the nicest animal on earth?
They're
The
super cute.
happiest. Yeah.
They look super happy, okay? And they're like these little, it's like a cross between like a wallaby and it's like if a wallaby and a rat had sex and had a baby, kind of, but cuter.
Yeah, I know what they
Okay.
look like. I'm just so
But that's a fitting description, I think. But when I tell people that, they're like, that's not really it. I'm like, no, that's totally it. You haven't seen one. But anyway, back to the story. So I'm on the island and there's only like 2 hotels on the island and they each have like 5 rooms max. So I'm staying on the island for like 2 days. The first night I got a little drunk, as was tradition, and they're everywhere. Okay. So when you're on the islands, the only place in the world where they live, they're in like zoos, but the only place they're like indigenous to is this little tiny island. And they're everywhere and they'll walk right up to you. You can feed them and they're really cute and they look like they're smiling at you. And like you can take a picture with, you'll see them if you Google them, people take selfies with them all the time because they'll look at the camera and like smile at them, which is kind of cute. But if you get drunk and you try to pick one up like a baby for a picture, it doesn't go very well. So I was like walking up and it was at the bar and they're everywhere. They're outside. And I went and I picked up one and I was holding it like this. And I was like, take a picture. And it bit me. And I don't know if you can see the scar right there on my finger. That's a quokka bite. It's right there.
There's too much swelling.
Well, the quokka bit me on the finger. Now, wake up the next day. I forget what happened. I look at my hand. I'm like, oh, fuck. I forgot. I picked up a quokka and it bit me. I got bit by a wild animal in Australia. Like maybe I should get this looked at because, it's Australia. So I went up to a guy that worked on the island and I shit you not. It was like, in my opinion, and we have Australians in the chat, so you guys can verify if this is like true or not, but it was the most like Aussie moment and made me feel like such a bitch because this dude, I was like, hey man, long story, but last night I got a little drunk, picked up a quokka and it bit me. Should I like get a shot or like get it checked out? Verbatim. And this dude's got blonde flowing hair. He's wearing a tank top. He's got the college frat bro shades on. He's probably 21 years old. Most like Australian looking man
sucked
ever.
out the poison.
He sucked out the poison and then I bought him dinner.
There you go.
No. He looks at me and he goes, "Oh, just quit being such a pussy, mate. You'll be fine." Cool. You're right. My bad. Yeah. It's fine. I'm a pussy. I'm a bitch for getting bit by a quokka and wanting to know if I need medical attention or not. But anyway, that's my story of getting bit by a quokka in Australia, which is also my favorite place in Australia, which is Rottnest Island.
All right, there we go.
Take you down that rabbit hole. I have a million stories like that. My life.
Well, that was a good that was a good time waster too because a couple of good questions came in.
Oh, perfect. Which one's next? Do y'all think this separation is one of the key reasons why all the sisters are close again?
Ooh. That's a good one.
Interesting.
Yeah, we saw the video of Kyle and Kathy and Kemosabe in Aspen doing the whole goof on the tequila. We see, but do you think that the sisters didn't like Mo? Or do you think that maybe they're just being close to Kyle to comfort her?
So I think I've never
probably
seen
the latter.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of them disliked Mo.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot to dislike. I'm not saying he's like the star of the show or like the life of the party, but the dude's always mellow and never seems to get involved in the drama. Like I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but if I had to guess, they were probably there in support of her, and maybe that led to some reconnecting because who wants to quarrel about stupid shit when like whoa, my shit's like popping. Can you hear that?
No.
Or is that just me? All right, perfect. As long as they can hear it, I don't care. But I don't know if that's one of the key reasons. I think that would definitely help them reconnect if they need to support their sister through something as serious as that. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Very good point. I like that. Good question. What's next? Oh, I like this one a lot. Yes, very hard.
Yeah.
Shooter does not like to be picked up. He will bite you and it will leave a mark.
Yep. I go for the neck.
Take Benadryl, dude. Yeah, dude. I 16 times I took 2 Benadryl today. Yeah. because I'm functioning slower now because I took
BW and
Benadryl.
NJ is just trying to help out, and you're
Well,
lashing out.
well, he dropped a dude in there, like, did you take a Benadryl, dude? You dumbass. That's how I take that.
Oh,
Yeah,
BW last week was giving us updates on the Philly score. So BW, if you could drop the Philly score in the comments, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, please be
Appreciate
dumbass.
that.
I just was mean. Please tell us what the score
Yeah,
is.
don't worry about Steele. Steele's a mean guy. He's not a
Mean
Cuoco.
guy. Let's go two more questions. Most old clients and agents from Rick. I feel like this is probably commonplace in most businesses. If someone goes out on their own, I would imagine they tend to poach a little bit. I don't know if that's grounds for damning him.
Thanks, Susan.
8-4. We want. Oh, it's over already. What time did it start?
7:30.
Oh, sorry, BW. They meant did I take Benadryl after the quokka bit me? No, because I was more worried about rabies than an allergic reaction, and I don't know if Benadryl cures rabies. I don't think it does.
I don't think it
I'm
does.
not going to put that out there. Benadryl does not cure rabies, guys, because nothing does.
Okay.
Okay.
Get this video taken down because we're giving wrong medical advice.
That would be really funny.
Oh,
Why
God.
did that video got flagged? Yeah, Steele told everyone that Benadryl would cure your rabies. Yeah, let's not put that out in the universe. All right, one more. Give us a good one. See, that's such an Aussie moment. Suck it up. You'll be right. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I did love about Australia is they have everything's abbreviated. Everything. Like you don't have time to say full words. Like McDonald's is Macca's. Go down to Macca's. I love going to Macca's, but Macca's is really expensive in Australia. Like Australia is expensive. Like if you wanted to buy, shut up.
Shut up. You shut up. Stop going down your weird Australian story holes. Yeah, good questions. Yeah, good questions rolling in, and you're stuck on Australia, Benadryl boy.
That's probably why. There's my wife, guys. If you want to say, she said no and just ran up the stairs.
Sounds about right.
Let me get one more. Give me one more question. I can't believe.
I like Sam's
there
question.
My dog just slipped up the stairs. Dude, are you good? This is my house, guys. This is what happens here. It's a fucking zoo.
I think my dog just went under the bed. I don't know what's going on. Sam asked if you guys are as disappointed as Karen that Robin is back for the next season. Supposedly Robin's coming back with a vengeance, and I don't know what the fuck that means. But we saw her try to do the whole catch Karen off guard with the cheating rumors and whatever else bullshit was going on while she was being cheated on in the process. So I think that it's funny. I mean, I think Bravo has to bring Robin back because of how we heard about all of that. And look, they didn't pick up the goddamn cameras right afterwards because they're going to let it sit and we're going to discuss it this year. So that's how you're supposed to do things. But you could take it two ways. Maybe Karen's a little scared. Maybe Robin does know a little bit more information and she doesn't want Robin back on the show so she doesn't blow up her spot. Or she feels like Robin hid her entire affair issues with her now husband the entire season. Instead of talking about that, she went after other people's storylines, which I think is fair if you want somebody off the show to do that.
Here's my stance. I think that she needs to come back. I don't think you can whack her for what she did last season. I don't think it's enough there to get rid of her entirely. I know a lot of people were vying for that, but I think that, let me get that question back up. I think that because of all of that, this is her make or break year. Like, okay, you avoided talking about this for the entire season. This was going on the whole time. You didn't bring it to light. It was brought to light later by somebody else and you were forced to talk about it. Your defense was, I was just waiting for somebody to talk about it and nobody did, which is bullshit. Now, going into this year, she has a storyline. She has a storyline set up on a tee. Like, she doesn't have to do anything. She just has to be honest. All she has to do is come in, answer the questions, say the right things, say the wrong things, whatever, just address it and talk about it. And she has a storyline. So I think that because of the potential opportunity, I'm glad she's coming back. And I don't like Robin. And I don't think she had a good year last year. I think she did nothing to keep her around. If she arguably did everything to get her fired from the show, but because this all came out when it did, because we haven't talked about it, because we haven't seen the ladies talk about it, you have a potentially good season ahead. You have, especially with the Chris shit from last year, that juxtaposed to a new season where they're talking only about Robin stuff. And then you can also add on to there that, okay, we talked all about Chris last year. We dragged Chris for X, Y, and Z. None of it was true. We had evidence to the contrary throughout the season that we saw, which I'm so glad that Bravo was putting out the clips that vindicated Chris, but we had to watch all of that shit. Meanwhile, we have Robin getting cheated on the whole time and she's not talking about it. So for me, I feel like we have to have her back because we need answers. And she has the chance now to give us those answers.
Yeah. I think it all depends on how Robin wants to play it. I mean, if she's just going to shut up and not say a word about the whole thing, then there's no reason to bring her back for the season after. But you can give her the opportunity to make things right and do. If she deflects the whole time and she just starts going after Karen or going after whoever else is on the show, and she doesn't address her own thing, get her the hell out of here, because she doesn't bring anything to the show. If she's going to hide her own things and go after other people, those people shouldn't be on the show. But
and I agree, but I feel like that's why we need her back for one more season, because if
yeah,
she can't step up
we're
this
in the
year,
same.
then she's
Yeah, we're in
gone.
the same boat. Yeah, I think that's kind of across the board. That should be universal for all of these shows. If something comes out after the season and we know what's going on, and it's somebody who drastically underperforms year after year, give them the opportunity. Like, hey, something organic happened in your life. Everybody knows about it. Everybody's talking about it in the off season. Here's your moment to go talk about it. Now they're Potomac's still filming. They're as of the middle of June, so they're probably wrapping soon. And I would say like September, October. There's no official release date for them yet, so I don't know. We'll find out what the hell's going on.
We were going to wrap it up, but I just saw this from Rebecca. Did you guys hear that Sandoval is on some
No
special
fucking way. I
show?
love that show. That
If
show
it's
is
like
awesome. The Fox one.
Is that what it was?
Is it
I like that
Sandoval?
show
I thought
too.
it was Schwartz.
No, Schwartz is on the Mars show. He's on. That's
okay,
airing
what I'm
right now.
thinking.
That's already
Yeah.
on.
If
I haven't
Sandoval's
heard
on,
that.
if Sandoval's on that Special Forces show, oh my god, am I going to
I'll
watch
watch
the hell
that.
out of that?
Yeah,
because that was funny, because after like the first, they had a really funny crew. It was like Dwight Howard, Nastia Lukin.
Was it Mike Piazza was on it?
Yeah, Mike Piazza was on
Piazza
it.
was there.
And then somebody from like Saved by the Bell, who just like hasn't, I forget who it was, but like hasn't been on TV. It wasn't Screech. Screech is dead.
Jesus.
Well, that's the first thing that I think of when people say that. So
I think
if Sandoval's on that,
Screech was in a porno.
Hilarious.
That's the first thing I think of.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Dustin Diamond. Look it up, or don't.
Man, that would be
that's up to you.
Fucking funny.
What? Oh, if he's on that show,
if Sandoval's on that would be great.
I would. Well, if any,
yeah, I mean, Kenya was on it too. Andre.
Oh yeah, okay. Here's the thing: like, if you are a network, you know people are going to watch them. Like, for better or worse, that this world's fucked up. We like watching fucked up stuff. If you stick a guy on there that everybody hates, you'll get ratings. Like,
God, what if he performs well though? Like, what if he's killing it? We've seen him do things. He's not athletic.
Oh my God! But you know what it could do? There's a lot of people that will watch Fox that probably don't watch Bravo and might not know what Sandoval was. And there could be people out there like, oh my God, I love Tom Sandoval. And they have no idea that like he's a fucking dirtbag. And then they're like lobbying for Sandoval. And then someone's like, this could ruin a friendship. What if someone's like, I just started this new show. It's so good. There's this great guy named Tom. You got to watch it. And the other person's like a huge Bravo fan. They're like, and a friendship of 15 years gets shattered over Sandoval. That's what I'm picturing.
Unreal. Now, the problem with that is, so you've got time to gallivant around the country with your stupid ass band, and you've got time to go on this fucking show, which, yeah, I think the show films in like Arizona because they're in a desert somewhere, but still, you're going to go take time to go do all that and not help out your goddamn restaurant, which definitely still needs help.
I would imagine it still needs, dude. To that point, so that video, we posted a video that was sent to us. A friend of mine lives out in LA.
Oh my God, people are still commenting on that.
It's so fucking funny. So she pulled up to Schwartz and Sandy's, and UCB, which is a very well-known, very famous improv comedy group, was performing, or they were practicing inside of Schwartz and Sandy's, like they rented out the space. And she just took a video and sent it to me. Now, this person, guys, her name's Bane Gibby. And if you've ever seen the T-Mobile commercials where it's like the medieval woman in like the pointy hat, that's Bane. So she's the T-Mobile lady, but she texted me that and I posted it. And look, I am well aware of the fact that people and bars and restaurants rent out their space when they're not there. I know that happens with successful restaurants. All I did was post it and with a little bit of a clickbait title saying, "Are they struggling for money? You be the judge." Like, that's all I said. Like, let the people decide what they want to decide. This video has gotten 300,000 views almost, and people are commenting on both sides of the street. They're either like, "Oh my God, that place needs to shut down," or they're saying, "You guys are so stupid. Bars do this all the time, and you guys are stupid. I hate this podcast."
Oh my God. It's
Special Forces
just
is filmed in Jordan? Sorry.
that's what I was looking up. You texted me and told me to stop looking at my phone. I was trying to figure out where Special Forces was filmed.
I get distracted
Doing
easily.
recon, baby.
When I can't see those pretty eyes of yours, I
Wait,
get
it was.
distracted.
It was. I thought there's. Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine. That makes it even worse. So Sandoval's not just taking like a 4-hour drive down to Arizona. He's flying to fucking Jordan.
Yep.
To go do this. What an
Maybe he's
asshole.
there right now. Maybe he won't make it back.
He'll call it a medical retreat or something. They'll have him like up on a tightrope trying to get across a valley or something.
Take a picture.
And he'll
My
take
arm
a picture.
looks so good right now. Take a picture.
Check out my now polish is up here. I'm on my medical retreat. Just really thinking. Why are you wearing camo? Well, that's what they make you wear over here in the medical retreat. Why is Dennis Rodman behind you? Dennis Rodman's also here.
Would you guys go on Special Forces? I would. Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, I watched. I mean, but I think my toxic trait is I watch those shows like American Ninja Warrior, and I think immediately like I could easily do that. Like I don't even have to train for that. I could do it
without training for it.
Yeah,
no shot. No
absolutely.
chance. If my hip was healthy, I could do American Ninja Warrior. If my hip was healthy, but I have the hip of a 95-year-old man.
There's a Netflix like a 6-part series on the American Gladiators.
Oh, American Gladiators! I want to start that. Malibu is one of my favorite characters of all time.
He's only in, which I didn't know at the time because that clip of Malibu went like rampant, and you and I used to quote it all the time.
I'm fine today.
And I didn't realize he was only on the show for like a couple episodes, and then he got concussed because he got drop kicked off of a beam. And some doctor told him if he takes one more shot, he's not going to be able to walk anymore.
He has a pretty wild story overall, I believe. And this is not an American Ninja Warrior podcast.
He's not even a surfer. That's the best part. He's never surfed in his life.
We need to, I think there was a book or a documentary about him that's interesting. But before you all skedaddle, we have a live show in New York City at the City Winery in Manhattan. So if you're in the area, if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, go to nofilterlive.com, get yourself a ticket. We've sold a bunch already. We're announcing our guests within the next couple of weeks. We got a lot of really good guests that you're going to want to see. So make sure you get a ticket. They're not expensive. I think they're like $20, $25.
Yeah.
So get a ticket, come hang out. City Winery in Manhattan, July 26th. There's no reason not to go, especially if you're in New York. It's a night out, couple drinks, a little bit of food, couple laughs. You get to look at me and this moron for a while. It's a hashtag No Filter Night Out with Zach Peter. Get your tickets, nofilterlive.com. Plug. But anyway, you got anything else?
No. We'll see you guys Friday morning.
Bright and early.
Feel free to watch us on YouTube. You can watch us.
Oh, if you're watching us on YouTube right now and you're not subscribed, please subscribe right now. Just click it. It helps us out immensely. You guys do not know how much it helps when you subscribe, like, and most importantly, when you leave reviews, 5 stars, preferably. 5-star reviews really help us out. So if you have the time, preferably 5. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. I'm not here to tell you what decisions to make, but it's so easy. Just, you know what I mean?
Bingo.
I can keep making sounds until you do it.
Nope.
Take some more Benadryl, dude. BW. I don't need anymore. It's rotting my brain. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope. See you Friday.
Right, guys, we'll see you on Friday. Thanks for coming out. Like Shooter said last week, I think we're going to do one of these a week. So keep tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you next time.
Rock on.
I clicked the wrong button. I was going to do rock on as it signed off. Oh, God damn it.